we have one of our teams that we actually quite like this season, Brentford, at home to Everton.
I don't really like Brentford's colours.
No, we're not talking about colours, are we? We're talking about the fact that they've come up this season.
Sheffield United either.
I do like them, but you know.
Look,
I prefer their away strip.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Red either, to be honest.
Look, they've done well this season. Okay, no one really expected them to do how well that they've done so far. So, I would turn around and say that at the moment, are they overachieving? I think they have in certain games. In certain games, they haven't been up to the standard with which they started off with. Okay, because they started off really well. So, I think they're starting to feel the effects of the Premier League. It should be a good game. Because Everton are not in a great position at the moment. So,
really
what do you think?
They're really not. Everton are, no, they're not in a good situation at the moment. I don't think Everton fans are very happy at the moment with Benitez.
And you wanted him for Newcastle.
Well, I absolutely love Rafa Benitez in Newcastle. I really did.
I think he did a good job at Newcastle, though. No, he did exactly what he was required to do. Really.
Yeah.
He wasn't given.
If you look at it that way, yeah.
He wasn't given any money.
Yeah.
To spend. And like we've said before on previous videos, he spent very little money at Everton. There's been very little money given to him. Not like in the past at Everton.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some good players which he's actually got early on in the season. He was getting the best out of.
Yeah.
Like Townsend, Gray. Gray went off against City actually, which I'm not going to say it changed the game, but it did reduce their outlet basically.
He's a great player.
Yeah. He was. Coming back from, didn't really get a chance really at Leicester. I don't think. I think that's fair to say. Went to Germany, came back, started the season on fire, as did Townsend.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're looking at that team, and neither of them have been forming. Obviously, Gray got injured, but that's where Everton are at the moment. It's like, well, we were over-reliant maybe on these two players at the start of the season, which were giving us those results. And now we're like looking a little bit run-of-the-mill. It's and I think that's where Everton are at the moment. They need to turn it around somehow. I don't know. Sometimes it just takes one result to do that. A good result. Is it going to be this game? Away at Brentford, who have been sliding 2-3-0s this season. Which shows that they're good fun to watch in a way. And they are, because they actually do fight.
Well, they go for it.
They fight for each other.
They play good football.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
I mean, obviously this Ivan Toney, ex-Newcastle player, actually. Yeah. I mean, he obviously scored against us at the weekend. Ex-players always seem to do that.
They do, don't they? They always have it, yeah.
You let them go and they come back to haunt you. But I think he's trouble in the box.
He's a good player.
He's trouble in the box for a lot of defenders.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
He's got good movement. Yeah, really good movement. Just seems to find himself a little bit of space, which isn't easy in the Premier League at all, especially against well-drilled defences. But he's been doing it.
He pulled Fabian Schär to pieces on Saturday. I mean, to the point he was so frustrated he was just trying to foul him.
Yeah.
All the time. He was kicking him.
That's the only way we're going to get out of this.
It was just he gave him a shift and a half.
This is a guy with international experience.
Exactly.
So, okay, but let's not exaggerate. The Newcastle defence is not really anything to shout out about. So
it's not, but
he's a decent player.
Fabian.
No, I'm not saying that, but
is
Shah. S-H-A-H. Is you related to me?
It's not related to you, Charlie. Look, Brentford have had a bit of a slump in their results at the minute.
Yeah.
I really think that they will come back and they'll hit other teams again.
Absolutely, absolutely agree.
I mean, it would be a tall order to ask a team that have just come into the Premiership for the first time in, I think, what was it, the last time was 1947 or something like that.
It was the 40s,
top league.
Yeah.
I don't know, I wasn't born.
Neither was I.
Yeah.
I look like I was, but
I didn't say that.
I did. They will bounce back, Brentford. They will get results against teams.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, like I say, the way they play, they don't relax. They just keep going for it.
No, I think they play for each other and they play a decent style of football.
Yeah.
But yeah, conceding a few too many goals, maybe that'll be their issue going forwards. You may have got away with that in the Championship.
Attack.
You may have got away with that in the Championship. In the Premiership, against the quality of opposition that you're playing against,
You're right.
they're going to score, 2 or 3 out of those goals. Whereas in the Championship, maybe it was 1 in 3.
Yeah.
And that's the difference in results, I guess.
So what do we think? What kind of result is going to come out of this?
Can't really have much confidence in Everton at the moment. Obviously, Gray looks like he's going to be out because he was taken off in the game against City. I fancy Brentford to bounce back here. I think this will be their bounce back game, and that's just because Everton are on such a dire run of form. I mean, you can see in the players the confidence has dropped. I mean, they attacked City twice. Start the first half, start the second half, and then after that, pretty much nothing. I know it's tough against City. I know. You shouldn't really judge teams when they're playing City, especially at the Etihad. But it did look like they lacked any real confidence. And again, organisation at the back wasn't great, and they conceded 3 goals. And Brentford could exploit that.
I think it's Brentford's comeback game, and I think they'll go at them, and I think they'll win.
Well, look, I agree with what you've both basically said, okay? And if you look at the league table, Everton are on 15 points and Brentford are on 13. Now, they both scored 16 goals, okay, in 12 games. And Everton have let in 19 and Brentford have let in 17. So if you didn't know the two teams and you just looked at the league table and how many goals they've scored, how many goals they've let in, you turn around and say, you know what, this is a draw. But then when you go and analyse it, as we have, and we've seen how Everton have been playing, I agree with you. I don't think they have the confidence at the moment. They don't. But you also have Benitez, and I'm pretty sure that Benitez is working on changing the fortunes, okay, and the results of Everton.
He's a great manager.
He's not showing it at the moment.
No,
It's not coming out.
But you look at his record. You look at his record. He's worked, with the exception of maybe Newcastle. He's worked with some of the. Sorry to put it like this.
No.
He's worked with some of the top teams in Europe. You can't say that manager doesn't know what he's doing.
I didn't say that.
He
did not
does know
say
what
that.
he's doing.
Don't put words in my mouth.
No,
I didn't say that.
No, I'm not saying you.
Don't put words in my mouth.
But
it's just not happening.
it's just not working out for him at the moment. And sometimes that's when a manager also has to dig deep and sort of like find maybe where he's lacking and sort of like say,
that's exactly
I need to
what I
adapt.
said. Yeah.
He needs to adapt.
So I mean, there's got to come a time where Everton have to, step up their game and change and improve the results. The question is, will it be against Brentford? Then on the other side, you've got Brentford, who have been through a slump. They finally they showed their mettle against Newcastle, okay? Drawing 3-3, going behind. Okay.
Going back twice, yeah.
Yeah, coming back
taking
twice.
the lead, but then losing the lead. That's
Exactly. So, you've got to give it to them. They've impressed me this season, even with the slump they have done.
Totally.
Everton haven't. Everton have not impressed me. So if I'm going to go for it, I'm going to say I think Everton will score, but I think Brentford should win.
I think Everton impressed me for about 20 minutes against Burnley, and they just looked unplayable. But that was their high point, and I think after that it's been a slump.
Football's a 90-minute game, not 20 minutes.
But they showed how they can play football, but that's it. That's the last time I saw Everton play.
So what do you think the problem is?
I don't know. I really don't know.
They have had injuries. Come on.
They lost some key players for certain games, but then those players come back in, and then it's like the chemistry isn't working again. You know, it's like trying to. Sometimes players play alongside each other because they play with each other. Too many innuendos here. And sometimes that chemistry just works, and then you get an injury, and that key element's taken out, and then when you get the same group of players back together a couple of weeks later, that chemistry is no longer there, and something has changed because maybe they lack trust in the defence, because obviously against Watford, where they conceded those goals, which were some of them ridiculously amateur, maybe you drop back a bit deeper, and you've just not got those same dynamics in the team. And I think that's what's happened with Everton. It's like they've lost a little bit of confidence in each other, and that's why they're not performing to the same level that they did in those minutes against Burnley, where they just looked like they were going to wipe the floor with them.
I think I'll agree with you on the fact that they've lost confidence. Okay, right, but it doesn't answer the question as to where you think the problem is. Now, if you ask me where I think the problem is, I just turn around and say, look, the problem has to be Benitez, because he's the one that is basically guiding that ship. Okay, he's the one that is the person that has to instill that confidence, play with the right formation and motivate these players, okay, make them believe in themselves. I think that's where the problem is at the moment, and I don't know why there's that problem, because I agree with you, Benitez is a proven manager, and when he was announced as a manager, all the Evertonian fans were really happy about it, and I don't blame them. You wanted him at Newcastle, and I don't blame you, but something is not right. Yeah, no, I know, but he wanted him back.
I didn't want to get rid of him. It's just
he wanted,
dreadful
they wanted him back.
At the time,
one thing that I absolutely loved about Rafa Benitez at Newcastle was that season we went down, we were relegated, and he decided to stay.
Yeah.
He could have left.
Yeah.
He could have moved on to pastures new quite easily.
Yeah.
There was plenty job offers for him. He decided to stay, and he wanted to get the team back up, and he wanted to have another crack at it.
Yeah.
That's what admired me.
No, I like him. I liked him as manager when he was at Liverpool. I don't like him. I don't like Real Madrid, so I didn't like him when he was manager at Real Madrid. But when he was at Newcastle, much of an aberration for him.
What happened was he got the team back up, and he didn't get the investment that he needed to take his plan forward.
And then he left because he's done all that work. You get that massive Premier League TV deal, and then you see money siphoned out.
Who the hell wants to work under Mike Ashley? No, honestly, I think he was doing a rotten deal there, like by the hierarchy, like Rafa. And
do you think that's the problem now, though, at Everton? It's like kind of maybe the confidence, because as you say, he's not spent that much money. He's come in,
but I mean,
as a high-profile manager, and have they given him really, or was it because he said, no, I can work with what I've got here, and we'll just get loaning players?
We don't know that.
Has he made that decision, or is that the hierarchy?
We never know, but I mean, they obviously broke the bank with Ancelotti.
Right, so you think it's...
They spent a lot of money.
And Ancelotti, you think, has spent the money, and Benitez has come in to clean up the mess,
Who knows? I mean, maybe the bank account was a bit...
He was doing all right at the start of the season. So it's,
Yeah, they started off well.
Yeah.
They started off well, so...
Who knows?
Well, we can only speculate, really, because we don't know that.
Any Everton supporters out there watching this, put your comments down below. I would love to hear what you've.
Well, the ones who
got to
really
say
do
about
know.
that.
Yeah, we'd love to know why
we can
what
only
you
run
think the
surfing
problem
outside.
is.
Yeah.
We'd love to know what you
Yeah.
think the problem is, because we don't know.
Yeah.
But
And there's definitely a problem. There is definitely a problem.
And I can't figure it out. So
It's quite. It's one of those where, you're only speculating. You're only speculating.